of this circus, Chesterfield Township Democrats. If you have not received a button, this is my daughter Clara, and she's passing them out. And everybody is welcome to take one. They're union made, and were designed by our executive committee team. So hopefully you all enjoy them and like them. The other thing I wanted to mention really briefly is we have this, our feedback box. So I'm going to put it in the back kind of next to that garbage can. There's a little ledge, and I have some pens and index cards. If at any point tonight you want to get email that we can reach you at. And this includes for the candidates that speak, our keynote speakers, we will make sure that we get you in touch with whoever you need to be to get that criticism passed on and or question answered. And if you were the person that asked questions last time, I emailed you and I never got a response, so please come and talk to me so that I can make sure that we follow that properly. So, can everybody stand up? We're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I wanted to, before we turn it over to the Voter Outreach Committee to give a couple of updates, I want to remind you about member dues. So we're finally getting our books and everything back up to date. You should have, if you've been a member before, had an opportunity to talk to Elisa, our treasurer, to see if your dues are up to date. What we want to do is try and get everybody on our membership roll up to date, because before our March meeting, as an executive committee, what we're planning on doing is sending you, we'll use the information that you put in when you pay your dues to then figure out every candidate that's going to be running on your ballot, and we want to send you a personal email connecting you to each candidate's campaign. That way it's really easy for you to know who's running and also to be able to get involved. So please, if you can before March, just write to the member. If the $25 is a burden, you can just write $0. We're fully fine waiving the dues. We just want to get everybody organized. So, okay, Courtney, can you come and talk about the garbage bin?
Share our values with the community so people know we're not, being demonized and counteract some of that. So,
Hey Courtney, would you step up to the mic?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Can you hear me better? Okay. So one of our first events now is a food drive on Saturday. It's at Circle of Concern, it's at UFCW local on Wyman Road, and it's supporting Circle of Concern Food Pantry. So if you know about Circle of Concern, they are focused on West County and helping families in our community. So we really want to be hyper-focused on this area. So we ask that you all come out, donate a couple of items. We've got a list of most needed items, condiments, dinner helper, canned fruit. Or if you have the resources and capabilities, you can either donate money to Circle of Committee. It's really up to you all that we pursue. We have a member of our team that's pushing for a fundraising and walk in the spring where we can help to cancel some of the school loan debt for children that come from low-income families. These are actually events that will walk in the state of graduation. So those ideas are being crowdsourced from our group, and we want more people to join, so we crowdsource ideas and have more boots on the ground to be able to actually execute on some of these ideas. So again, if you have any questions, reach out to me. QR codes up there to sign up. Thank you.
Yes, and please, if you have the chance Saturday morning, come bring some food by to our food drive. It's going to be a really good time. We have some wonderful candidates who are also coming and lending volunteers, and we're just really excited to show our ballot. Chesterfield Ward 1 is a contested race, so if you live in that area, you'll want to educate yourself. All the aldermen of the ward municipal elections tend to be nonpartisan, but you just still want to make sure you educate yourself and pick the candidate that best represents you. They're also in Manchester. I put this in your notes, but there's a candidate that's running unopposed, but apparently there are some charges coming against her because she used a Cub Scout pack credit card to pay for personal expenses, and so there's a hearing on it and things. I put the information in your announcements. There's a suggested name to write in instead of voting for her, and so definitely use that link, educate yourself, decide who you want to vote election. Also, Parkway Schools, there's a director race that you'll want to vote for, and also Prop F for West County EMS. So it's a funding increase for the EMS services. And then the last announcement that I have is House District 101 against Ben Keithley. So that's my district. A lot of you, I mean, it's kind of a core district, Chesterfield Township Democrats. We've been looking to source a candidate for like the last few months. I think I've talked to a lot of you about it. We haven't been able to find anybody. If there's anybody that's on the fence or burning with your desire, please tell me by Friday, because I plan on filing as a candidate next week. It'll be super fun and a crazy campaign. But you see me every month, so we'll talk about this too at another meeting. So, but like I said, if you're burning with desire, please call me by Friday. Okay, so now we have two candidate interests slated. I didn't see Chuck here. Did anybody see him? Is Chuck Summers here tonight? Okay, well then we'll go ahead and go to Marianne Perkins, who's running for House District 100, to introduce yourself.
Do I come up and talk? Like for a minute, or? Oh my gosh, I took 5 minutes, that's a lot. Hi, I'm Marianne Perkins, and I'm running to represent House District 100 in the third legislature, and I'd just love to see a show of hands. Who cares from District 100?
Where is it?
There's Baldwin, and a little bit of Manchester.
Oh, good.
Okay, some of you. I'd like to also ask, how many of you have been out knocking doors in your neighbors?
Nobody answers.
Ever. Ever knocked on doors. I thought so. I think I'm in a room full of people who are seasoned political actors, people who are engaged, and people who know how much it matters that we talk to our neighbors. This is a race that's going to come down to turnout. It's going to come down to voter engagement. And I feel like the stakes are really high. This is a 50-50 district. It has been 50-50 for the past 2 election cycles. I feel like both times we should have won it. I really, really wish that we had Colin Lovett representing us in Jeff City right now. I really wish he was the candidate that everybody could vote for. But I'm going to do it, and I'm so excited to have the chance to bring representation to Baldwin that we have been missing. Right now we have a representative who doesn't represent anything but himself, and I don't think that that's what democracy should be. So I'm very excited to be in this race. I'm very excited to get to know all of the folks who are here, who are willing to support candidates and invest in campaigns. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Your name?
Now I really wish Maureen were here because she'd be very proud that I am on time. So we're going to go ahead and turn our time over to Yvonne and Mike. So Russ was hoping to come here, and then there ended up being kind of a last-minute scheduling conflict. So Yvonne, who are you the first vice chair of the party?
Actually, Missouri only had 1 vice chair.
Oh, okay. So
First and last.
first and the best vice chair of the Democratic Party. Oh, there's Maureen back there. Well, I will brag to her that I'm running early later. But so you're going to go ahead and speak first, and then also Mike Gallagher, who's the new executive director of the St. Louis County Democrats, is going to speak to us. You guys can either split up the time, speak a little together, but we're just excited to hear from you. So, welcome Yvonne.
Okay, I said that I was going to put this microphone on because I'm a wanderer, so I tend to pace around, and I talk a lot with my hands.
But you'll need the actual.
I can do this.
No, no.
You need what?
No, I mean, this was just.
Oh.
You want to walk around?
Oh. Well, actually, my father was a drill sergeant, and I inherited that voice, so typically being heard, not my challenge. I'm going to apologize to all of you up front. Russ Carnahan, our chair, is not here. And Russ and I work incredibly well together, but we are very, very different personalities. Russ is a congressman. He is good, he is kind, and he is blank. I am none of those things. That's not me. Pulaski County, near Fort Leonard Wood, which means I live not in 50-50 land. I live in 70-30 land, which means those elements of risk, the danger of this season for me is a lot higher than it is for you. And so my remarks tend to reflect the risk. You live in St. Louis County. And as bad as things feel here, y'all, you need to see it in Pulaski. I want to thank you guys that have stepped up to run. It's never easy. I ran in my district in 2020. I had guns pulled on my door knockers. The police contacted me because they were concerned about the level of vitriol. What this state needs is you. You are the most populous county in the state. The voter outreach committee helped. Okay, that's the other thing. My dad's a drill sergeant. I cuss. Let's just know that about me right now. I'm an army. So, that committee, that's 25% of my message right now. That's it. I will tell you from a DNC and Missouri Democratic Party standpoint. Let me first tell you what the state party does do. The state party does not get involved in picking your primary candidates. That is your job. Every single one of you is responsible to support the candidates in your districts. Thank you for sending the list. That's your job. We don't do that as a state party. We don't fund individual candidates. That's not our job. We do not set legislative priorities. that you just can't believe that person keeps getting elected and they're horrible, guess who screwed up? That's mirror time, folks. The truth is, every single one of us is the Missouri Democratic Party. If your party's not getting the job done, I suspect you guys should have planted your foot in my rear end. Because that's where it belongs. What's the plan for this year? What's the plan for the next 4 years? I think we're gonna start by saying, oh, is it? Oh, okay. Let's start with doing this. You guys know in 2020, we screwed up, right? 2024, we really screwed up. We blew it. We didn't turn out. We let this country down. And every single thing that's going on right now, we have to own. We own. I get up and I look at myself in the mirror and I think, what would have happened on those days that I just didn't feel like going out and talking to my neighbor? Could it have made a difference? We've got to own this. Authoritarians rule when we refuse to take responsibility. So we screwed up. But as DNC and MDP, yeah, we've got to own that too. In the 2024 election, the Harris campaign spent $1.2 billion on wired television. Wired TV ads. How many of you guys stream your TV? Oh, you mean you guys didn't see any of those ads? $1.2 billion that were sent to consultants to place media buys and did so at hefty commissions. They're fired now. That's one of the things we did when we got new DNC leadership. We fired the consultants. But yeah, we screwed up. We had a bunch of people that had come to maturity in the age of Obama that all thought they were brilliant because Barack Obama won. Guys, it's freaking Barack Obama. He is a once-in-a-generation politician. And I'm the only one. Do you guys remember that closing argument that Kamala Harris made, where the backdrop was the Capitol? And there was like a big party. Was I the only one that thought, my God, she looks very small? The only person that can hold up to a backdrop like that is Barack Obama. So we took an entire campaign, in fact we took two, where these brilliant consultants decided to turn Hillary Clinton into Barack Obama. And then they decided, well, it was Hillary, we'll take Kamala Harris and we'll make her wear Barack Obama's shoes. And they both came off looking very small and inauthentic. And we had these great messaging lines. I don't know who workshopped that mess, but it was a mess. It was a mess. And we lost. We get a new DNC chair, we fired the consultants, and we developed a new theory of elections. And we tested those theories in Virginia and New Jersey and Mississippi and in Georgia. And here is what worked. You won't believe it. People talking to other people. That's the secret sauce. You are. You having conversations with your neighbors. And sometimes maybe not overtly political conversations. But those values conversations that make a difference. We had a candidate in Minnesota 2 nights ago that won with 91% of the vote. 91! The average special election, Democrats have been overperforming by 15 points. And in those scheduled elections, in New Jersey and Virginia, we won big. We stopped counting numbers of doors knocked as though that were a metric. In 2024, during the presidential election, at one point in Pennsylvania, we were knocking 4,000 doors a minute. Raise your hand if you've got a Ring camera. Do you open the door to strangers? So yeah, we knocked 4,000 doors a minute. We probably had 1 or 2 conversations. We don't open our doors for strangers anymore. And we sure as hell do not answer unknown calls. Phone banking, nationwide, the connect rate was 4%. And for people under 35, less than 1%. So we go back to basics, relational organizing. Organizing in our neighborhoods, organizing in our townships, having conversations, doing food banks, showing up for your community. Having those conversations move the needle. I'd like to invite you guys, please have me back. I want to go through a recap with you. Because if you can give me information that's in your head already and update our voter file, you're gonna make all of these candidates a lot more effective. And it's taking the information that's already in your head. I know the guy that lives to the right of me is an asshole. I know that. He's a Trumpy asshole. And I don't want our candidates wasting time knocking his door. He's never going to vote for a Democrat.
So you're only gonna talk to Democrats?
No.
Okay,
No,
just checking.
if you are familiar with VAN, when we score candidates, we score them 1 through 5. 1 being a strong supporter, 5 being assholes. If you are out knocking doors as a candidate, because you can raise more money, you can't raise more time. That's a hard constraint, or you don't knock my door. But 2s, think of a 2 as being a progressive or liberal that doesn't necessarily identify as a Democrat. That's a 2. If you talk to them, you will get their vote. If you don't talk to them, they may be a non-voter. 3s are truly undecided, and those people are actually kind of rare. 4s are people who lean conservative, but cannot abide what's going on right now. 2s, 3s, and 4s. If you spend your time talking to those folks, you win.
They don't answer the door though.
No,
to the door.
But they will if they're in your neighborhood and they already know you. Who's in your neighborhood? It's the people in your neighborhood that you can talk to. And when I say neighborhood, I don't mean block. I know in my phone I've got about 3,000 contacts. I don't know 3,000 people, but I know about everybody in my town. And if I don't know you, I know somebody you know. So we can talk. We're gonna run into each other. Of course, I live in Waynesville. But your sphere of influence, if you start counting the people in your block, the people that you're in groups with, the people you know from your, employment or former employment, I bet you will find that you've got a solid ring of about 500 to 600 people that you could have a conversation with. And those are the people we're asking you to have conversations with. Not strangers, people in that sphere. Yeah.
I've got about a 3.5 mile route that I walk in my neighborhood, and I can tell you every yard sign in the last election who they voted for.
Exactly, and now, if I give you the reach app, and you can update that data in Van, you've just made life a lot easier for the candidates. Because they already know up front. You've made all of our candidates a lot more effective. So, we're going to be doing in Missouri Dems, in every township, and county, and block, takeoffs of what you guys are already doing. Your voter outreach committees, where we're going to identify those spheres of influence, and that's how we're going to organize in a neighborhood program. We proved it all of 2025. It worked. Not Facebook adding our way to it. We're not going to tap dance our way with the new magic saying, and I love the button, but if you're talking to real people, please don't say affordability. I mean, dear Lord, never use a word with 4 syllables if you can get away with 3, and don't go free if you can do groceries. Light bill. That was extra. But that's the plan, where we're going to be having a lot more conversations. I'm going to make sure that I leave my phone number. I won't always be able to pick up immediately. But there are several of you in here that I will always call you back. Always. I have no life. But this is critical. And in this moment, we must get it right. We cannot screw up anymore. The cost is too high. The pain is too great. We've got to get this one right, guys. And that's DNC, MVP, but that's us. That's all of us. I'm going to stop talking. I think somebody's going, but turn it over to, I'll turn it over to Mike. Oh, wait a minute, there's one more thing I want to do. Everybody in here has signed the Respect Missouri Voters petition, right?
Yes.
Okay, do not leave here without signing it. That is our first step. That is critical. Without our right to participate in this system, everything I just said was fluff. So, first things first.
For filling us in on everything that's
name is Mike Gallagher. I am the new executive director for the St. Louis County Democrats. And first off, I just want to get us started out here in the campaign mode. I'm a campaign person, so we're going to do a little bit of a call and response here. When I say fired up, I want you to say fired up. When I say ready to go, I want you to say ready to go. That's right. We're going back to rock and roll. I'm trying to fill those shoes. Let's see. Are we fired up? Fired up! Ready to go? Ready to go! Fired up? Fired up! Ready to go? Ready to go! Fired up? Fired up! Ready to go? Ready to go! Fired up? Fired up! Ready to go? Ready to go! Let's do it. Let's give ourselves a hand. All right. This room, as Yvonne just said, the Missouri Democratic Party represents the state. They do a lot of things. They don't do a lot of things. But in order to help that break down, the state is then broken down into county parties. We have many counties across Missouri, as Yvonne mentioned. St. Louis County is the largest Democratic stronghold of the entire state. Right here. This is us. From there, the county, we break that down even further into townships. We have over 28 townships. I hope we have 28 townships here in the St. Louis County region. So each township represents their neighborhood. As Yvonne was mentioning, it's not the national party. It's not the state party. It's up to each one of us to organize our own neighborhoods and get to work. So I'm going to give you 5 things from the county level, 5 things from the local level, what we can actually do moving forward. So starting in 2026, we're turning a new chapter for the St. Louis County Democrats. We have 5 different goals that we're working on right now. The first one is recruiting strong candidates at all levels of the ballot. As Sherry mentioned, we have some of those races, our municipal races, that have 0 candidates, that went uncontested. If we don't have people that are running, how the heck are we supposed to win those races, right? When we run people at our municipal races, or our local races, our school boards, our fire districts, or whatever they might be, that gives us a stronger bench of qualified candidates to then run for our higher offices. So that way we're not scraping the barrel trying to find somebody, begging, pleading somebody in this room to step up to run for 101, right? Or a state house race. Once we have folks in the state house race, then we have more candidates to run for our state senate races. Then we have more candidates to run for our statewide races. So it takes building that bench at the local level, people running for office, recruiting quality folks to actually step into those roles to make a difference. If we don't have a bench, we aren't going to have the players, right? We need those players to be able to make sure that we are racing at every single level on the ballot. The second thing we're doing is supporting those candidates with different events and training. A lot of these folks are stepping into roles after being begged, pleaded to run for office, who have no idea what they're doing. And that's okay. You're not expected to know everything. It is absolutely like drinking from a fire hose as soon as you sign your name on the line and say, yes, I'll do it. There's so much to do, from fundraising, from planning an event, from door knocking, from making phone calls, to searching out for endorsements, all kinds of things. So we want to be able to support our candidates with quality training to help them along the way, so that way they're not on their own, they're not lost in the wilderness, fighting against the wolves. Having other events across the county, whether that's social events, be able to bring people together, start building more of a movement, being able to help those candidates understand and meet volunteers, knowing who they are and what they're representing, so that way people are more excited about stepping up. So recruiting candidates, supporting candidates. Third one is creating more opportunities for people to actually get involved. Like I mentioned, social events. What are we doing right now across the county for people to actually come together? There have been so many other organizations that have stepped up to help fill that gap. I'm so grateful for all the work that they do in their own unique ways, right? But we as Democrats need to be stepping up to make sure that we have opportunities for people to come together. There's so many things happening across our nation right now, across our state right now, that are absolutely frustrating. So frustrating. There's so many people out there who identify as Democrats, but there are so many people out there who don't identify as Democrats. That's okay. We don't need them to identify as Democrats, but we at least want to welcome them to the group. Say, hey, you're welcome here. You have a space here. You are important here. You're valued here, right? So the more things that we can do to bring people together, to create those social opportunities, that's what we want to start doing. Through that, our next step is to build a base of volunteers. Building a base of volunteers, an army of volunteers across our entire county. So that way when these candidates are stepping into roles, they can already have a whole army of folks at the ready to support them and do whatever we need to do to win these campaigns. When we build that army, that way we're out there in community more, recruiting more people, talking to more people, having those conversations, doing that organizational relational organizing, being able to build that many more folks to come out and help us. The last thing that we're doing is a big one. So we're working on a giant plan right now to help the entire county towards the 2026 election. With that, we have a $150,000 plan that we're starting to put together at all levels of the races, to be able to have those volunteers, to be able to have those events. So is there anybody in this room who gave $150,000 over that? 10,000, 5,000, gotta ask. But it's about having the structure, having the infrastructure put together to be able to support what our county is actually supposed to be representing, what we're actually supposed to be doing. Yvonne gave us a great charge. That's our job, right? That's not the National Party's job. That's not the state party's job. No one's coming to save us. It's us. You are the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is you, each and every one of you. That's who we are. For us. So we need to build that infrastructure to make sure that we have a strong Democratic base so we can hold those elected officials accountable, just like Yvonne said. Once we get them elected, we want them to actually represent us. And if they're not representing us and what we stand for, they need to get the heck out of it. So those are the 5 things that we're working on right now at the county level for this year. I have 5 things for you to work on at the township level. Like I mentioned, we're split into 28 different townships across St. Louis County. Each one of those townships is your neighborhood. It's your backyard. It's your neighbors. It's your people that you know. So the best way that we can build our base is to make the townships as strong as we possibly can. The first step for you, my first homework assignment, show up. You're here tonight, so cross that one off the list. Good job, you already did. The next part of that, though, is talking to somebody that you don't know. Just like we're talking about now, engaging in conversations with our neighbors, engaging in conversations with people that maybe we haven't talked to in a long time. But the best thing we can do is create a community here in this room. Once we know somebody, once we know a friend, once you recognize somebody that, hey, I saw you at the last event, nice to see you. That makes them feel more welcome. That makes them feel excited to actually come back. Hey, it's a group of people that want you there. So we need to show up and say hello to somebody that you haven't talked to before. The second step, I want you to just pull out your phone right now. Go ahead and do it. It won't be rude while I'm chatting. The next thing I want you to do is actually invite somebody to the next event. We've got the outreach event happening on Saturday. Invite them to that. When is our next township meeting for Chesterfield Township?
February 25th.
February 25th?
Last Wednesday of the month, everybody.
Last Wednesday of the month. So there's 2 opportunities that you can invite people to right now. The food drive on Saturday, or the next township meeting on 25th.
I think it's the 25th.
There we go.
Is that the last Wednesday of the month?
Last Wednesday of the month.
Sure it is. Last Wednesday of the month. It's on the website.
And that's what it takes. But it also takes you bringing somebody with you to the next event. We're not going to grow our room if the people in here aren't even inviting their own friends to come join them next time, right? So that's your 2 tasks right there. Show up, invite somebody with you. The next thing I want you to do is get involved with your township. Yes, you're here, but what else can you do while you're here? This township is only made up of people just like you who said, I've had enough. I'm ready to get involved. I'm ready to do something. These folks are not paid for the work that they're doing by putting on these meetings, putting on these events, putting things together. It only happens and it only grows when more people step up to actually get involved. What's an event that you want to help plan? What's something that you want to do? Is there a fundraiser that you want to have to help support the township? Is there a volunteer opportunity that you can put together at one of the local schools? Is there another canned food drive, something like that? Can you host an event for one of the candidates? There's all kinds of things that you can do to get involved to help the township grow and offer your time, your talent, and treasure to make that happen. The next part of that is support your damn candidates, right? Yeah. If you're not supporting the candidates in your own area, like we said, no one else is going to do it for you. The people out in South County are not going to come here to Chesterfield to support these candidates. You guys need to build that base right here. And that only happens when we're inviting our friends and we're getting more of a base together. We need to be able to support Sherry, who's running for 101, whether she fully commits to it yet or not. She's going to do it. Right? So we need to support our candidates, and that's at every single level. Whether it's our municipal races, our state house races, our state senate races, our congressional races. We've got a few of our congressional candidates here. But supporting those candidates, if nothing else, pick at least one. Just one that you're going to adopt for this election. Do everything you possibly can. Show up to their events. Give money to them. Spread their message on social media. Tell your friends about them. Sign up for their newsletters. Whatever you can do, pick at least one candidate that you will go all in for. If you can do more than one candidate, great. Go for it. Awesome. Do better. Pick at least one candidate that you can adopt. Tell all your friends about that person. The fifth thing that you can do, run for office. Think about it. That's not really a conversation that we talk a lot about in Missouri. How many people have actually been invited or encouraged to run for office in your lifetime? That's something we need to start talking a little bit more about. I see a couple hands up there. Thank you for those conversations. That's something we need to talk about a little bit more. That these folks are not gods high up on a pedestal that just appeared out of nowhere. It took time and energy and effort to build that base, to build that momentum, to get them there. It is a lot of work, but we need people to step up and do it. Missouri doesn't have to be a ruby red state. It's only ruby red because we have failed as Democrats to activate our base. Right here in St. Louis, we have the opportunity to make a huge difference in that. Missouri, St. Louis has over 27 state house districts that touch its borders. 27. Of those 27, 8 of them are still held by Republicans. Across all of Missouri, take it back just a little bit, we have 163 state house races, and 34 state senate races. The Republicans have held the majority, both of those chambers, for over 20 years. 20 years. And they have driven this state absolutely straight to the ground. That's only our fault. We're not putting folks up to run against them, to give them a good challenge. We're not supporting the people who have stepped out. So that's what we're about this year. We need people to come.
I beg to differ. Is it the Democrats' fault that the Republicans are driving into the basement? Where you live, and other people I know that live out in nowhere, Missouri, they're not voting blue to save their life. I'll go out there and talk to them all day long. People I don't know, I'll talk to
Fair.
them.
That's fair.
They're not going to just say, oh, I see the light, I'm voting blue.
I'm going to challenge back to that though. In a lot of the races across the past 10 years, a lot of our state house races haven't even had a Democrat on the ballot for people to vote.
Because they're not going to vote for them.
I beg to differ.
Go ahead.
I ran in 2020, which means as a Democrat, I shut down door knocking when everything shut down. I finished 8 points over Joe Biden.
Good job.
Which means when you have the conversation, you make a difference. When we're not having the conversation, we allow the Republicans to fill the atmosphere with their narratives.
I'm with you 100%. But
Absolutely.
I did phone banking for Claire a decade ago, not to raise money, just to gauge how they felt. I mean, if they talked, forget it. You know.
I'm gonna take the narrative back for a second
Sorry, go
here.
ahead.
So just as a couple of examples, right here in West County, Baldwin, House District 100, where Mary Ann is running. I'll use that as an example. I helped run that campaign for the past 2 cycles with Colin Lovett. A 10-year story is what we're looking at there. In 2012, 2014, and 2016, there was no Democrat on that ballot. In 2018, a lady named Helen Webb said, F that. And she stepped up and ran. In 2018, she got her butt kicked. She lost by about 10, 12%, somewhere right in there. She ran again. She ran again in 2020, brought that difference down to about 8 to 10%. So we made some progress there. It takes showing up. It takes showing up and having those conversations, at least planting the seed of, hey, there is Democrat here. There is somebody that we can support. So in 2022, Colin Lovett went to Helena and said, hey, if you want to run again, I'd love to support you. She said, you can have it. Fair enough. Running 2 cycles is a lot. It's taxing. But in 2022, we worked our tails off. We brought that vote difference down to 1%. We lost by 181 votes out of 17,000 in 2022. Last election, we worked even harder. We knocked 3 times as many doors, raised 3 times as much money. We brought it down to 0.5%. We lost by 143 out of 23,000 votes. I know many of you in this room actually came out and knocked doors with us. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. We are so close. I know Mary Ann's going to be the one to break it this year. But that's the exact story. It takes she's the perfect person to do it. But it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. But if we don't have anybody running, we have no chance in hell of winning, right? So it takes planting the seed. It takes building that momentum year by year by year. And in a lot of these races, we are right here. 100 is a perfect example. 101, where Sherry's running, is a perfect example. The come back to questions in a second. But 101 was a very similar story. Just a couple years ago, there was no Democrat on the ballot. Melissa Greenstein stepped up in 2022. She worked her butt off, ran a great campaign. She brought it to about, I think it was about 44% where Democrats got the vote. Last cycle, Jacqueline Cotton ran. She brought it even closer, got about 45, 46%. It takes building and building and building each time. But that's where the county needs to step in, just like Yvonne was talking about. It's not the state party, it's also the county party's responsibility to build that infrastructure. So that way it's not up to every single individual candidate to have to start that machine over and over and over from scratch every time somebody decides not to run again and we get a brand new candidate. We need to set something up for them on behalf of the townships in that neighborhood. So that way the candidate feels completely supported with an entire army of 100 people already ready to go, excited, fired up, ready to get out there and kick some butt for them, right? So going back to the majority. Republicans have held the majority in our legislature for over 20 years. Not only the majority right now, they hold the super majority, which means they have 2/3 of the seats in the state house and state senate. That means if we were lucky enough to be able to elect a Democratic governor, and that governor chose to veto something that the state legislature passed, it could go back to the state legislature because they have 2/3 of the votes. They can override the governor's veto. So as of right now, Democrats don't even need to be in the room for any of these negotiations here in Missouri. Republicans completely own everything that is happening here. However, the one piece of hope that we have, we are so close to breaking that supermajority in both chambers. In the Senate, all we need to do is flip 2 seats. 2 seats. Joe Bayless in the back there ran an amazing campaign last cycle to try to be one of those candidates. We got so stepping up and putting all this effort into it, and that's what it takes. It takes people planting that seed year after year to make it happen. In the state house, out of 163 districts, all we need to do is flip 3. Wow. 3. Marianne's going to be one. Sherry's going to be one. District 96 in Sunset Hills, where we have Matt Vitale running against Brad Chris. That's going to be one. We have Claire Heinrich running in 110. I know she's met a lot of you in this district. She has been working her butt off in Wildwood. That's going to be a really close race. We have 88, Eureka and Ellisville. Jennifer Trickey was running. She had to step out. But she's already getting started in areas that we haven't had Democrats in a long time. And there's excitement. There's momentum. We right here in St. Louis County can be the ones to flip that supermajority. Now it's going to take some time for us to break the actual majority, but at least we'll have to be at the table. We'll at least have to be in the room when some of these discussions are happening, on all of this egregious legislation that is going on, right? But that takes us showing up, putting in the work, doing it. So my 5 homework options for you guys. Show up, say hi to somebody that you've never talked to before. Invite your friends. Get involved in your township. Support your damn candidates. Think about running for office, because we need more people across every single race to get involved. That's all I got for now.
I want to thank your approaches and thank you for being here. I've seen more cycles of elections than most people in the room here. I've seen more
No, it's fine. I'll get it on.
Hi. I've seen more cycles of elections as a Democrat than most people in the room. We tend to forget our successes. And I want to point one out and push people back. The Democratic Party, in my opinion, has dissed our best people sometimes. And I reach back to Howard Dean. That's when I got involved. And he had a 50-state solution, is what they caused it. And he said, we're going to go everywhere, and we're going to talk and listen. So what you're saying, I think, is valid because we have the data from the past. I just wanted to also mention, I've been a candidate, and one of the things is there's a National Democratic Training Center. And you might think, okay, I'm going to be a candidate now, I'm going to go there. But what it also is, because I've gone to them, they're online, so it's free. It's really nice. It helps the candidates become better candidates to seeing you there. So if you have time, it's one of the resources out there. You don't even have to be in your room. I just wanted to mention that.
There's so many online opportunities for candidates, for campaign staff to learn. Now in the age of digital, we have so many opportunities. And then also at the local level, there are so many organizations that have stepped up as well. I know National Women's Political Caucus, they help put on some great trainings a couple times throughout the year. Rise and Run is another organization who's going to be here from Rise and Run. That they've stepped up to plan some as well. And great plug, this weekend.
You don't have to do it all the time. You
Right.
don't have to commit to, you can do it in an hour,
Yeah.
and, you know, schedule it.
This weekend
See
in
what it's
Kansas
like.
City, the Missouri Democratic Party is offering Camp Carnahan exactly that. Training for campaign staff, for candidates, for people who have been excited about supporting some of the issues, our signature gatherers, things like that. They do that a couple times throughout the year, but that's happening this weekend in Kansas City, if folks are able to join.
And one of the things, and I remember I told you, I've got a big mouth, don't need the microphone. National Democratic Training Center, traindemocrats.com. That is the website. If you are a candidate, if you are an advocate, if you are a volunteer, go to traindemocrats.com. Everything, there are over 100 different courses at that site. I still go back and retake courses when I hit a problem. That is for everybody.
It helps them be better candidates.
Yes, and one of the things that we mentioned, we talked a little bit about municipal offices, school board. You know, and those aren't, we are getting involved in municipal, nonpartisan boards, commissions, school. Has anybody noticed that Republicans are moving in those spaces?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? So why are we tapping out? Everything, every office has become political. And just like there's a DCCC, there is a DMO, Democratic Municipal Officers, where we concentrate on those offices.
I'm going to put that plug out there that yes, we're in the 2026 election. We're focusing on that in the moment. We have the April elections coming up, just a couple weeks from now. We have the August primaries where a lot of our folks are battling it out. We have the November election here in 2026, but it's already time to start looking at 2028. We need folks who are running for our statewide offices. We need somebody who's running for Josh Hawley's seat, because he sure as hell is not going back to Washington after that election. So if you know somebody, if you want to do it, step up.
And to your point, some of the candidates out where I live in the red spaces, we are actually crafting 6-year plans. So they're going into this cycle, committing to run for the next 2 cycles. Do you remember Melissa Hortman from Minnesota? She was the Speaker Emerita that was murdered. But Melissa Hortman lost her race the first 2 times she ran for State House. She did not win that seat until the 3rd time. So some of these, the first, that's blue. The second, that's gonna be blue. The 4th, where I live, that's a 10-year plan. But if we start today, it's 10 years. And if we don't start till next year, it's 11. We do the work. We do the work, and we start right now.
And Lavender ran 4 times, I think, before she won.
Exactly.
Yep.
These candidates, this notion of one and done, I've got to say, oh really? Did you actually believe any of that stuff you said? You just can't bring yourself to do it again, huh? Was it all a bunch of bull? Because if you really believe what you say you believe, you stay in this fight.
There's a place for everybody. There's a place for everybody to do the work, to join the work, figure out what your place is. We absolutely need you. We need you at the township level. Yeah.
We want outreach for the young people. Old people are tired.
If you know some in this
Young
area,
people running this club.
that's right. If you know some in this area, invite them to come along. We need everybody. We need all the voices.
We need to talk to the college people.
That's right. If you know folks at the college, if you know of folks that know of folks at the college, ask them, beg them, plead with them.
And
There's
we're
lots of
going
Democratic
to,
clubs on college
Well,
campuses.
actually, we have reconstituted Missouri Young Dems. Young Dems are 35 and below. And not only concentrating on college campuses, that is a yes and. Because face it, 70% of our kids are not going to college. So we can't only be on college campuses. We have to be at the Union Hall. We gotta be at the corner bar. We gotta be online in the gaming room. We've gotta be where they are. And here's gonna be the challenging thing, people. We're gonna have to engage those people, understanding that they don't wanna show up for our meetings. They do not care about our agenda, our Robert's rules, or our financial report. So we're going to have to show up with actionable tasks to engage them where they can make a difference. So, yes.
I just want to say too, because one of the things that I would like to do, because I know a lot of younger people that are more closer to the city, but they're more engaged with DSA, and you've seen that kind of naturally with their candidates getting a lot of traction with younger voters, and I don't know if there's something at the party level where you all thought about.
Okay. Now, and this is, I wish I had a better phrase for this, and call it a lack of imagination, and so this is where I'm gonna get real military, so cover your ears. Okay. DSA, Democratic Socialist of America. This is not the season for dick measuring. It's us and them. Am I gonna work with DSA? Yes. Am I gonna work with Invisible? Yes. 50-51? Yes. We are going to be working with the people that are on our side who are not actively working for our destruction. So, yes, I don't care what letter you're wearing. And in fact, I will tell you the Democratic Party today is a whole lot different than it was in 2016 because of all of the Bernie people that came in. I believe the majority of DNC leadership at this point came into the party with Bernie Sanders. This is a big tent. Somebody was talking to me about a concept called the perpetual stew. We are a perpetual stew, and we're going to continue to have new ingredients put in, and that flavor is going to change. But as it changes, it's going to look more and more and taste a lot more like all of us. And I'm here for it. Absolutely. Let's engage with DSA. I'm good. Let's organize around DSA. I'm good. Let's do it. I think next month I'm actually going down to the Boot Hill to train a 50-51 group on canvassing. I don't talk about it, I get about it.
It takes all of us. It takes all of us, like we said, the Democratic Party is you. You are the Democratic Party. It's not just Yvonne and I. We're not the only ones up here playing puppet maker. It only happens when you get out there to help and spread the word and bring people in. We need help at the township level. We need help at the county level. If you want to support, stldems.org/donate. You can take all the help we can get. You want to help at the state level? They need your help and guidance as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Yvonne and Mike. Just thank you for coming and maybe giving us a little bit of kick in the butt, but like in a good way, right? It's always good to get that. And also, Mike has been doing an amazing job just getting things organized and reaching out. I also wanted to highlight something that I think is really cool and unique about this time. Fred and Joan, do you want to both stand up for a second? So these are two candidates for Congress from Missouri House District 2. There's also other candidates, and they're all technically opponents running. Oh, and Tim, yeah, you can stand up too. They're all technically opponents, and yet you can see they're all coming to these meetings. They're all supporting ballot races. There's so much unity right now happening in the party. Yeah, you know, you got elbow a little bit, see who gets a nomination, but we're all united too in this effort to really fight for people, right? And fight to reconnect people to their government, because that's what's lacking. And it's not, I mean, it's become a partisan issue because one party has disconnected so much from the people, but it's an American issue, right? I mean, somebody was talking about engagement with young people. I mean, I don't feel that young anymore, but I am 32, so I'm still a young Democrat and everything. Well, I've got an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, right? So I feel, you know, I'm not on the TikTok or anything, so. But when you talk to young people, I mean, I was a registered independent for a long time, though I voted for Democrats, right? Young people, we don't want to fit in a box. We just want to have our voices heard, and we want people to talk to us. And sometimes you might feel like an old fart talking to a young person, but I promise you that those young people appreciate that conversation when you just come up and you say, hey, what's important to you? What's on your mind? You know, and if you could have that conversation with young people in your street, young people in your neighborhood, with your kids, your nephews, your nieces, and just say, what matters to you in government? And just listen to them, maybe then you're opening up a doorway for them to get more involved. Because right now they feel like they're yelling into the internet void and nobody's listening to them, right? So, anyways, I just want to say I appreciate all of y'all for coming here tonight. I know some of you are like true blue, always been a Democrat, and some of you, this is your first meeting. And I appreciate every single one of you, your spirits, your souls, the opinions that you bring. Please take a moment to give some feedback. We love feedback, even if it's just like, oh man, y'all are awesome. We love that kind of feedback too. But more than that, it's just, we want to hear your voices. We don't want this to be the Sherry show, the Reed show, the Wright show. We want this to be the people of Chesterfield, Baldwin, Wildwood. We want this to be the people's show. So thank you so much for coming tonight, and we hope to see you again next month. So.
What I did? I did it all?
Your Google form, I think that website was from Midterms. There's no reason yet. Your Google form is closed. It's not taking new people for the voter outreach, for the outreach committee. So the one that you did, I did the QR code. It's not. It says you need to go to Google. Either you need a different QR code or you need to open the Google form. It worked
Wow, look at that. Wow. Thanks. Love your help. Love your help. All right. All right. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Nice. Not lazy. Where you living? Right. Good choice. Well, we're not going to tell them.
I gotta stop.
Look, I'm a cat man too. Yeah, me too. I'm a floor. It's great to meet you. I didn't get your name though. Oh, I'm Tom. Nice to meet you, Fred. Thanks, Tom.
I have to mess around, and I almost and say, I got to get back with you because, no, because my husband was the loudmouth at one of the meetings that we came here, and he didn't come tonight because his thing was coming in, but he didn't have to be the guy. So I texted him when he walked by, I said, hey, your March kid. He's like, I haven't looked to see.
I remember that conversation over here.
Yeah. You don't forget. In the room, it doesn't face me. 40 years later, it doesn't face me. I'm not telling you, you missed
Oh,